Go Go Gadget sequel! Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Nostalgic Videos. I am your host Nick Smith, of course, and I do not own the theme to Inspector Gadget. I figured I would play that song because this is the true Inspector Gadget film, true Inspector Gadget, true Dr. Claw, true Penny, true everything. Yes, this film, even though there's a couple things wrong with it, but you know what? I ignore them because this is so much better than the first sequel we got, than the first Inspector Gadget movie that we got. So this film doesn't say how long it takes place after the first one, but pretty much Inspector Gadget is clumsy, he's silly, he's having glitches, and he's trying to just bide his time. He's catching criminals, but he catches the chief's mom, and he's like, get back to solving real crimes. And basically, he's like, there is no crimes, there is no real criminals ever since Claw got put away. Claw escapes, and so now it's up to Gadget to catch him, but because Claw has escaped, the Gadget program, and they are still sticking with the Gadget program, so this sequel is actually a sequel, even though that Dr. Brenda Banner, or whatever her name is not in this film. This is the sequel, even though there's no mention of the first film. Thank you. And Claw looks like Claw, and what I mean by that, we don't see his face! Awesome! Yay! And he has a symbol from the TV show. And so basically what Claw is trying to do is basically build a machine that will freeze people in time so he can steal all this gold. But he needs nuclear cells or proton cells, a gigantic ruby, and the proton nuclear laser. So he gets all of his machines, and every time he gets them, no, darn it. Oh, okay, never mind. He gets all of his things, and the true person who solves this case is Penny. Number 1, Penny is a blonde. Number 2, Penny is a blonde. And number 3, Penny is a blonde. This film got everything right about Inspector Gadget that the first film didn't. Screw that movie. I mean, Inspector Gadget isn't something award-winning, but this is a silly cartoon with characters that are done correctly in this film. Penny is smart. She's a blonde. She's a true detective. Inspector Gadget is clumsy and silly, and he screws everything up. Penny fixes it. That's the whole formula. Yeah, pretty much. So they basically unveiled G2, and the very first when they very first introduced G2, she's like, "I am better than you." It's basically like, "I'm better than you. I'm more built better," or stuff like that. Because Gadget keeps having glitches, and there's nothing that they can do to fix him, or as far as we know, there isn't. And so basically, Gadget keeps trying to prove that he's just as good as G2. And he keeps getting himself caught or put into situations, and the chief keeps putting him on stuff like catching traffic or scrubbing the toilets. And it's not until Claw puts on a little tiny device on Gadget that gets him fired from the police department. So then it's up to Penny, and we get a montage. We only get one montage in this film. And it is of Gadget trying... Actually, it's one big montage, but it's, I guess you could say, several. It's Gadget trying different jobs. You know, he's trying to be a construction worker, a hairstylist, a pizza maker, and it also focuses on Penny, who's doing her work, finding out everything about Dr. Claw, and also Claw putting his device together. So when Penny finds out everything, she goes to the bowling alley where Claw has been hiding out and discovers what he has been doing, and she gets caught. Brain escapes, and when they do the thing where Gadget gets fired at the science convention, the main scientist who works on Gadget, Baxter, was developing this machine that would allow animals to talk to people, or they could translate into English. So they find this machine when Gadget reawakens G2 because G2 couldn't capture Claw either because he outsmarted her. So they decide to shut her down, but Inspector Gadget goes and wakes her up. And so then it's up to them to basically take down Claw, and we get another montage, my bad, of them getting dressed up and ready for battle with G2 oiling herself up, and not in that way. She's a robot. And Gadget, like, putting on the trench coat and everything, and then basically going after the bad guys. Claw freezes the whole entire town. And so when they go to the bank, Gadget and G2 arrive. Claw takes Penny away in a van, and it's a high-speed chase, and Gadget tries to do the helicopter hat like he did in the first film, but he can't do it because of the glitches. And there's a lot of glitches, and it's actually pretty funny, and it's on par with the character. French Stewart is a great Inspector Gadget. He should have been chosen to be the very first Inspector Gadget. This should have been the very first Inspector Gadget film. Or, well, not really, but he should have been the first Inspector Gadget. And, so, basically, like, his glitches don't work, like, whenever he's trying to do something like Go-Go Gadget helicopter hat, gum, Go-Go Gadget scissors, something else. So, G2 and him switch chips, and since he's got a new updated chip, his everything works. So, he does the helicopter hat, and since everything's frozen in place, there was this person who was like coming out of the pool. It was a girl, and when he's on the scooter, on the Go-Go Gadget scooter, it destroys the hair, and I thought that was kind of funny. But so we get a high-speed chase, and we get G2 basically taking on the minions. And there's a minion in this movie called the Ninja. And I just always thought this was so funny. When they're interviewing the minions, because there's actually an ad for Minions, and he's like, and you must be the one that they call the Ninja. Ninja? Why do they call you that? Whee! I think I see why now. Yeah, it's all silliness. And this is, you can tell that all the actors in this film are just having a blast. They're having fun with this. And it actually shows that these people know what they're doing and they know the material. And that's one thing I do like. Because French Stewart, even though he always looks like he's squinting at the sun, he really does pull off this character. I really do like his interpretation of Inspector Gadget. They still have the mayor from the first film, but it's a different actress. All the actors have been replaced except Brain. But Brain's a dog, so. Once again, they never do show or talk about what happened to Penny's parents. I actually don't think they ever did that in the cartoon either. I haven't watched the cartoon in a long time. But, this movie came out in 2003, and it was a straight-to-DVD release, and the first one, I guess because the first one was so horrible, I guess that's why they decided to put it straight to DVD and video. But, this was one of my favorite films in that year, in 2003. Probably my favorite just because it was a sequel of Inspector Gadget, and how this one was more related to the cartoon and the material than the first one was. And the climax of the film is where, after G2 captures the rest of the minions, Gadget saves Penny, and he apologizes to Penny, and he's like, look, I'm sorry, I was just trying to protect you, because every time when she says something about where she's getting leads, he's like, no, you are to stay out of this completely, I don't want you getting hurt, and he's just trying to protect her, I guess probably because he's the only family that he's like the only family that he has or something, and also since he's, her guardian, he doesn't want anything bad happening to her, and he also says that she's too young, that she needs to focus on school. That was how Penny was in the TV show. She was always helping him out, even though when she didn't realize it. She would always back the chief up and everything. She would always back up Gadget whenever he messed up. And it was good. It was really good to see this character done right. This movie is... Inspector Gadget is done justice in this film, unlike in the first. And the climax of the film, basically... Gadget, they all basically catch up to Claw, and Claw's like, okay, that's it, just run him over. And so this time, he's like, go Gadget, bubble gum. And he fires the bubble gum, and the truck goes back and forth, and the minions surrender, but Claw has a backup, like he always does. He's in a gigantic ship, and he's like, you may have won this round, but I'll get you next time, Gadget. A great homage to the cartoon, because that is always what Claw would always say. He's like, I'll get you next time, Gadget. And like, this guy has the Claw voice. Like, this guy, just how he acts and talks. Claw always had a deep voice, like, I'll get you next time, Gadget. Or, Christian Bale Batman voice. This guy really captured this character right. They never showed his face. You've seen glimpses of his face, even though in the original cartoon, you never seen Claw's face, period. This does its best to not show his face. Only thing you really see are his eyes. That's it. Everything else, his face is either in the dark, or his face is always covered up with something, like Winston from Home Improvement. And so I thought that was very clever on how to do this character right. But all in all, guys, this is a great film. If you love Inspector Gadget like I do, I strongly suggest maybe renting this, or, you know, downloading it on your Kindle, or maybe, I don't think it's on Netflix, but I strongly do suggest finding this film and just giving it a watch at least once. You know, it's not something that you must own on your shelf, but if you like Inspector Gadget, and if you grew up with a cartoon, you will like this film just because of how much of an homage it is to the cartoon, and how much it feels like the real version of the cartoon. So, you know, guys, that's all I got to say on this episode of Nostalgic Videos. Comment down below. What do you think about this Inspector Gadget movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was too silly? Do you think it should have been more serious? Do you like French Stewart as Inspector Gadget better than Matthew Brodrick? I do, because he actually shows emotion. What did you guys think of Penny? What did you guys think of Claw? What did you guys think of this movie as a general? I really want to know, guys. That's what I'm here for. You know, comment below and let me know. Stay tuned for when I will be doing another gameplay, and I will be doing another episode of Nostalgic Videos. Maybe the sequel to Toy Story or George of the Jungle. Actually, I want you all to decide. What would you rather have me do first? George of the Jungle or Toy Story 2? Guys, comment below. Let me know. Have a nice day.